What'd you think you first got there? Green country?
In Iraq or Vietnam?
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course I went into Long Bend. That's where you transport into to start with, and you spend 2-3 days there while they process you. And they have like, actually the buildings were better than I showed you because they were a little more stable. And there's some different places. So, but at night I heard kaboom, 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 and it shake the whole shed, and I look around. These guys are. Or this artillery. I was scared the crap out of me. We were getting bombarded with artillery. I found the next day it's all going out. They had some artillery out right by us. They were shooting out. Oh, and these guys had heard it before, so they just went through. Wow. But because it's so close, it's very loud when they're shooting that. Because the big highlight of Vietnam was what they call the Tet Offensive. Mm-hmm. So that was in 1968, and then prior to that was 1967. They were kind of building up to it. That was the big. They had most of the problem when they were actually the North and the Viet Cong were trying to actually take over the country. One big thrust to take it over, and they couldn't. But they tried. So I was beyond that, thank goodness, because that's when they did most of their damage.
So did you come in after that, or?
I went in '71.
Oh, okay.
So then the Army, the U.S. kind of decided we're going to start scaling back. So they started pulling troops out because there was like 350,000 troops there. And when I was there was a lot less than that. But anyway, it was, I'm glad I missed the Tet. A lot of people got killed that year.
That makes sense.
I bet those 2 years, probably half the people got killed in those 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it's a pretty bad time.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff I've read about it.
The people I knew that went earlier, some went to Laos. It was nasty, but you got Viet Cong. You never knew who the Viet Cong was. Viet Cong were really South Vietnamese civilians working for the North. So you run some of these issues like what was that guy? My Lai massacre, I think you call. The guy just came in and killed everybody in the village. Probably because he'd run into that so many times. You go into a village and then they think they're your friends and they're Viet Cong and they end up killing you. And so I don't know what led up to that, but he wiped out the whole village.
Yeah.
Of course, he was prosecuted for that. But here's one thing about Vietnam. You back there too, but I used to watch that on TV at night. They changed their tactics now. But every night you'd see Vietnam on the news. Every night there'd be a journalist in there. He's out there with the grunts, and they're in battles, fights going on, and that intrigued me. I'm only 17, 18.
Oh yeah.
That intrigued me. So when I'm in the Army and I went to the helicopters, I knew I'd go to Vietnam. Knew that first. So there was kind of a rule of thumb. If you were in helicopters, because there's so many of them there. If you're 18 and above, you went to Vietnam. As soon as you got out of your training. If you're 17, you went to Germany, and that's exactly how it was. You go through training. You have a graduation in your class every week. A new training test. So I think ours was 6 weeks. So, and this was out of Alabama. It's not part of basic. It's after basic. So,
okay.
And so there's like 5 people that was 17. Germany, everybody else, Vietnam. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. So, you went through a processing and out of San Francisco, out of Oakland. And you're in a chartered plane and they fly you over there. And I remember everybody was so noisy. They were having a good time. And you stop at Anchorage and refuel. And you stop at, I think we stopped in Guam. And then we stopped in Japan. I think it was Japan. And then the next stop was Vietnam. And Seoul said a word. It was like, well, okay, let me turn the party off. It was like next stop to Vietnam. It's like, then you get there, and I'm thinking, I wanted to go, so I got there, and after a couple of days there, I thought, okay, I had enough. Can I get the next flight back home?
Fair enough.
I was like,
how long was the tour that you had to stay?
It was a year. I was only there 10 months, so more it was a year. They had drags.
I bet.
Yeah.
And is there just constant fear?
Not really. I mean, I was not an infantry guy, so those guys are a lot different. And I talked to guys who were, because I was at 101st Airborne, they had their infantry. I'd come in, you get to know them, because they'd go out for a couple, 3 weeks, and they'd come back in for 3 or 4 days. And sometimes you get to know them, because you run into them. So then they come over visit you, and they come back. Who else they going to visit? You know. And one guy, he said he's not ever going back. He hated it so bad. Next thing I know, he shot himself in the leg
Just
intentionally.
to get home.
Yep, and I never saw him like that.
Wow.
But see, being an infantry guy, because they go out there for like 3 weeks, and they would just drop in a bundle, like once a week, a bundle of clothes. That's why none of them wear underwear. Because they didn't drop any underwear in. They'd just go in there, and it was so hot, they'd just go in there, find something to fit them, put it on, and throw the other ones in, and they'd throw the bundle away and wash it.
I just
And
can't even imagine. I just can't even imagine.
you know, so infantry guys, I was pretty lucky. Infantry guys had a lot worse. I didn't have to worry about somebody shooting me. They'd throw a rocket in, and that would be
Or
it.
constantly looking over your shoulder to see.
Yeah.
That would just
So those guys had a lot of problems, and I tell you, the other ones on helicopter areas were the door gunners. Even though I told you I wanted to be a door gunner, that's only because I didn't know any better. Everybody volunteered because door gunners in assault companies,
worst rates.
oh man, they had a horrible time. And here's an example: remember Marge's or mom's sister up at Logan, her son Jay. He had a heck of a time when he got back. He was a door gunner there for a year. I tell you what, you get shot at and you kill a lot of people. And he did not adapt well when he got back. He kind of went over the deep end. But
I'm sure.
so you kill enough people and you see enough people get killed. I'm very fortunate I wasn't in that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I say it was more like being in a MASH unit. Except you weren't moving all the time. But,
Well, that's nice too.
so I say went to 101st Airborne, and their mentality was so different. And there was a assault helicopter company, and they were so gun ho. But it was kind of cool because everybody got along real well. Otherwise, you spend too much time with people, and they start bickering.
That's true.
Iraqi got really bad. Years for 712s. I can't believe it, man. Holy mackerel. Next thing you know, this one's going home, this one gets sent home. Some people don't get along well. If you don't get along with somebody, spend 7 days a week with them. You'll find out nobody else gets along with them either. Well, over there, they just say, you don't get along with people, you're gone. We're out of here.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So in that company, I didn't see any of that going on. Everybody's working a lot.
That's good.
And, taking care of the mission. Here they come back. Oh man, they got shot up. We got to fix that one. But yeah, they said I could have been a crew chief immediately of a Cobra. Well, I thought that doesn't make sense. You can't fly in Cobras. You just become responsible for the helicopter because they only have 2 seats. They have a pilot, co-pilot. So crew chief just all he does is maintain the helicopter. He never flies them. Thought, forget that. I want to fly in. I want to be a crew chief like Huey. But,
It's just more less conservative.
I never made it up the rank, so.
Nah. Well, yeah, it's probably better you didn't stay too long.
I know.
Less conservative.
I was glad to leave that place. Like him, so they started throwing rocks at his hooch at night, and at 10, and it's like, drive you crazy, because these guys are far away. They would throw a bunch of rocks, take off. You don't know who does it. They start doing that every night, and it's like, holy mackerel. Well, the idea is they were trying to drive him out.
Yeah.
And he realized, let's just take one bad apple in this group to take the next step, and then put a frag grenade around his utes. So he requested leave, so he left. I know that because I drove his truck, drove him down, picked up and packed up his stuff. And we drove him down to Da Nang, through the mountains down to Da Nang. That was another trip. I was driving him down to Da Nang, and they had what they always have names for everybody. So but they called them cowboys. These were South Vietnamese civilians. They would get on a motorcycle, 2 of them. One would be driving, the other guy in the back. And if you were military or any other vehicle, they tried to grab stuff out of the back of your truck. And my gosh, they did that to me, and I'm driving. And there's a guy trying to grab stuff out of the back of the truck. It's all the first sergeants. And he's in the passenger side. I'm thinking, great, do I pull my M16 out? I'm driving. No, he has this, what do you have? The 45? The automatic. And he put his hand out like this. Right at the guy's head, and I never saw him again. They just drifted back. That was pretty effective.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So, yeah, that was going into May. And, yeah, different place.
Oh yeah.
Going to Nang, it was a bigger city. I remember going to the outskirts, it was a little poorer, and it was like, you know, you used to take your dump your stuff out the street and pick it up. Well, what if you don't have anybody picking up your stuff? And they don't have the way to pick it up. It ends up in a big old pile out front. That's what it was like. It's like, oh, it's Metro.
Wow.
You get into the city, it was different, but out in the suburbs and the poorer areas, it's like, holy boy, no wonder it smells so bad around here. It's not done, it's just garbage. But saw a lot of water buffalo. Thought it was kind of cool. Places where they're still sleeping in grass huts. That was pretty common in the villages. And I would suspect they're probably not that plentiful out there now, but and you get poor areas, you'll see people like here sleeping in a box.
Wow.
And one thing you notice when you're over there,
Isn't that pretty good?
not a lot of men because they're dead,
There.
they're too old, or they're in the military. Which is they're in the military, or they're dead from the military, or they're just too old, even the old ones to be there, but they're old and they maybe are disabled. Like you'd have people you hire to come pick up your garbage, and these big trucks, and they bring them in, and they threw their blankets down, and they take your garbage and dump them out, and they go through everything. Because, you know, they're trying to salvage metals. You had C rations, they had little bags, they put metals in this one, C rations in this one. Because, you know, C rations were everything in metal, but you'd have a little container of peanut butter. You know, this big metal. You didn't like it, so you chuck it. And so, you know, then you might have a little container of crackers, or a little metal container of whatever, it's all metal containers. So they'd salvage all that stuff. But they had nothing. So, anyway, they're pretty poor. I felt bad for them. One hooch maid, I asked her, I didn't talk to her a lot. She said she had 5 kids. And, you know, didn't pay her a lot, so I'd give her a couple bucks tip occasionally. 'Cause they family starving. Their husbands are either dead or at war. So it's always the women trying to do all the work. So when I left, I had this thing of coffee. I'd never opened it. So I gave it to her. Oh man, she's like, eyes light up. So I'm thinking, she can drink that coffee? No, she can sell it on the black market. I'd get quite a bit of money for it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And
Yeah.
I thought, why not? You can use the money. So,
Right on.
yeah.
The exact same.
Fair enough.
Is this
Wow.
gonna give you nightmares talking about this again?
So is this thing going?
Yeah, he said he met Bob Hope a few times.
I beat him. Well, he just went to the USOs. Now these guys don't know who Bob Hope is, but he came over a couple times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Iraq they had UFOs too. USOs. Of course Bob Hope wasn't there. But they had like Robert Williams. I realized, I don't like this guy. He's got a foul mouth like I've not seen anybody else. Yeah, so I thought, I don't care for this guy.
Concert coming into town.
Bob Hope is a class act though. Yeah. It was cool. It's just like you see on TV. Like World War II, same thing, Vietnam, exactly the same.
Oh wow.
And everybody reacted the same. Because, you know, that's the GIs. You haven't seen a woman since ever and everything's so serious. So,
Makes sense.
what else do you want to know about Vietnam?
So Bob Hope brought the Dallas cheerleaders too, huh?
You what? Yeah,
The
yeah.
cheerleaders.
I had one that had some dancers, but the dancers weren't Dallas cheerleaders, so I didn't make a copy of it. I probably should have. But I just remember someone tell you, "Oh, got a UFO coming in the next day or two." And you wait and wait, and then, oh yeah, it's coming in. It's 20 minutes, and it's over here, and everybody just picks up and books over there.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then the helicopters are coming in at the same time. Now somewhere there's a stand there, you know, podium they're putting them on. Everybody just gathers around. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So, I don't know, what do you think about Vietnam people?
Oh, the Vietnamese, pretty poor, most of them. And I think back about, you know, we had hooch mage, so we didn't have that much interface because I'm not, you know, we were on a base, but, and we paid them to do, like my laundry in a little area where you live, paid them about $3 a month.
Oh, nice.
And then maybe 5 of you paying them about $3 a month, so they get about $15 a month. And they're working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day.
Wow.
And they wash your clothes, there's nowhere to wash them but by hand. So they don't wash them out of them. Oh yeah, they're washing them out of a bucket, but they'll even iron them for you, which they did anyway. But they'd starch them too. You want to buy starch? Well, I don't want. I'm not sure what I want to buy starch for, but
It's a pretty good deal.
yeah, so it was a really good deal. So when they deactivated that unit, I went to 101st and they didn't have them. They weren't allowed to have them because, say, security issues. I'm thinking, oh crap! Now I got to wash my own clothes out of a bucket. That's like the picture I showed you. Yeah, you got the bucket. And if you want a hot water, that was the thing about showers. You want a hot water, you had to go to the shower area. It was a little shack. Climb up on top, and had a big 500-gallon container. Light the fire, wait for a while to heat the water, and then get some hot water out of it, and maybe take a quick shower. If you waited too long, it got too hot. And then you had to climb up, turn it off, and wait for it to cool down. So, you know, if you're trying to get water for your laundry, well, people realize they got hot water, they're taking a shower real quick too. And it was a hoot taking a shower. Obviously, I didn't do it every day. Maybe once a week if I was lucky. Until it got real stinky.
Yeah.
So you take it and then you wash it with hot water, otherwise you use just a bucket of cold water and find a place to hang it. And when I was in the first unit, we had hooch mates that did the laundry, but if you had to take a shower, they had tactical showers. And they're really just a container, and a little nozzle on it, and it's a canvas, and it folds out. It's about this big, and about this big, and holds a maybe 10 gallons of water. Maybe not that much. You hang the little thing, wherever you can hang it, fill it with water. Then you open up the thing, let it drip on you. It's cold, and you let it drip on you, put soap on you, put it up, let it drip on you. Didn't take a lot of showers there either.
I had to play with that. That's like fun.
Yeah, you just didn't wear a shirt a lot. So, I just noticed, it was really hot and humid there, and it was very hot in Iraq. But tell you what, you wore a shirt and a t-shirt. It didn't matter if it's 120 degrees. Oh, Vietnam, you didn't wear nothing. You didn't have to. They weren't as frigid. But the humidity, it's not just the heat, the humidity was.
Drier.
Oh yeah. So that was Vietnam. I mean, you just worked every day, 7 days a week. And if you're in a helicopter company, like the first one, the more they flew, the more you work. So their point when they'd fly out and you kind of didn't have a lot to do, then that's when you had your dead time. And then you had to come back and then you do the maintenance on them. Because you had to do, they do their pre-flight inspections before they left. And before they did it, you did your inspections on them. Helicopters get inspected a lot. And then they do their pre-flights, and then they come back, and then you do another inspection on them. And make sure the hours are all logged in, because based on the hours, what kind of inspections you have to do.
Well, you have to do some inspections. A lot
You
of
what?
things can go wrong. Life
Can't go wrong. One thing is that nothing can leak. Nothing can leak. Nothing. So these things are clean. I mean, if there's any drop of any fluid, it's down. I mean, there's no, leak in the front sill like a car. I had a problem, you pull over. You just don't pull over in a helicopter. So if it's an engine leak or hydraulic leak, automatically gets grounded. And if it's an engine leak, you just probably pull the engine out. And
Wow.
bring in another engine and put another engine in. And that's a lot of work, but they get inspected a lot. And then you have so many hours, require different type of inspections too. 100 hours for this one, 500 hours for this one. And after so many hours, you have to automatically replace certain things. So you had a hangar, we had a small hangar in order to deal with. You had to get out of the weather. But, and then I was thinking, I could have I flew quite a bit in helicopters. But I always think, well, you can always fly, so you don't fly as much. And then you get out and realize, man, I should have flew a lot more. It was kind of fun. But you always think it's always going to be there.
Mm.
So.
And when you flew on a helicopter, you an engine?
Yeah, well, I vaguely remember I was like 5.
A little. And it tips it sideways, and you're thinking, looking straight down.
Oh yeah.
And you're hundreds of feet in the air.
You see, in these, and they don't have much for doors. Not that they're going to protect you, but since it was so hot and humid, we never put the doors on.
Mm.
So you're always like, whoa, whoa. And if I'm in the back, I was in M16. It's like, yeah, it's going to do a lot. I do remember when the pilot saying that, and I could see this big row of troops walking, and it was probably 1,000 troops. And the guy says, "Those are NVA troops. That's the only people who go down that location." So we're booking it. We're that close to start with. He says, we're gonna go. Yeah, it's good because my M16 is not going to do a whole lot here. And he'd radio it in, and then that wasn't our business.
Mm.
So we have B-52s come in and take care of the guys.
So you see 1,000 Vietnam heading down there. Huh?
Yeah. But otherwise, I was in rear most of the time, so I didn't, see the incomings occasionally. Rockets, I didn't really see too many mortars, mostly rockets. Yeah, in Iraq, I saw a lot of mortars. Mortars are not nearly as powerful as a mortar will hit a building and do some damage. A rocket will just destroy the whole building. But so I had some friends that got killed over there though. They were in a Chinook company. They did a lot. So our company was here, and there was a little valley, and then they had 18 Chinooks, and they're huge helicopters, huge, probably the biggest helicopters the Army has. And they use them for sometimes use it for like a bus, because there'd be like 5 crew members and that'd hold 35 people, so they'd transport people. But these guys were a chemical company, and they would have these big nets, and they'd put these 55-gallon drums worth of gas, some kind of liquid like gas, and be like 5 of them, and they would dump them on these bunkers that they had found, because the Vietnamese were digging holes everywhere, and they'd find one, and they'd dump 5 of these 55-gallon drums, and they'd light it. So that was the chemical company. That's what they did, and they'd light it from a distance, and then anybody in there would get suffocated or burned.
Mm.
That's what they did every day. But when they didn't do that, they were like a little bus. So one day I went and talked to them, and then these guys all got killed last night. What? When they had done is they had a whole crew of people. And so they had 35 people and their 5 crew members, and they ran into the side of a mountain.
Ooh.
Because we're the mountain area anyway, so they really didn't know if they got shot down or they just ran in the mountain because the weather was really bad. But it's like, it happens to you even if you're not in an assault company. But the company I was in the first time, we stayed out of that danger. So one pilot got shot once. He was actually the company commander too. And yeah. And the crew chief took over, flying the plane. So.
Well, isn't up in the air he took over?
You what?
He was up in the air and he took over?
Yeah, the crew chief took over, and the crew chiefs aren't pilots, they're just like me, so. A lot of pilots will let you, if you wanted to, they'd teach you how to fly. So, and because it was to their benefit. You get shot, fatal or close to fatal, and have somebody to land the plane, so. This guy had a lot more experience than I had, so he actually could help him land the plane. And I go replace the windshield, and that plane was back flying again. Never saw the company commander. He got sent back to the States, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was our first airborne. They were, I was in the rear most of the time, just doing maintenance. So their mission had kind of changed. It was an assault helicopter company, but the mission had changed. So they were doing assaults but they were doing a lot of transferring to the South Vietnamese Army, called them the ARVNs, and the Army has an acronym for everything. So if an acronym doesn't mean it's derogatory. ARVNs was not derogatory. It was just an Army acronym for South Vietnamese Army. And, so we were fixing them up, and when they got totally, so basically like new, so we were doing well above beyond normal maintenance, they'd give them to the Vietnamese Army, and we get more of them. Yeah, so we're working a lot. You're working on ones that they're using for assaults, using all the extra stuff that they're giving away. So when they got helicopters from the Army, they were like new. They were better than what the U.S. was riding. So when they got taken over, when I'd see those in 1975, when the Pre was overrunning the country, and they'd fly those planes in, and they'd into aircraft carrier, and they'd push it over the side. Thinking, I know what kind of condition that was in. They were like brand new. They didn't have room for them. I don't remember seeing those pictures when they
Yeah,
were,
I know what you mean.
you know, the Army's trying to get out because they're overrun, and so they're flying into whatever any place they could go. And you only take so many helicopters on an aircraft carrier. After that, it's excess. Over the side it went.
Crazy.
But you know that little bonfire show Jeff, they had where they were doing the marshmallows? That was just the beginning. That started because they were deactivating the first unit, so they were burning stuff. Well, it got so big they started going in and just burning everything. Man, thinking, man, you got to burn it to tail rotor or to tail boom, big tail boom made out of aluminum. Tail boom, throw it in there. But it's fire so big, everything starts melting. This thing they're throwing engine parts. I mean, that's made out of magnesium, okay? And half hour later, here gives this big white glow out of the bottom. It got so hot, everything started melting.
Wow.
I think it's easier just to burn it than turn it in. So they burned everything. We had our marshmallows out there.
This is very end.
Making the best of our situation. Laced with magnesium smoke. Yeah. It was kind of funny because it started out as a little fire. They just burned some papers. And, yeah. I just thought it was funny. I thought, and booms, you know, boom, pretty good size. Even got the label on it with the turn-in tags on it.
So why did they burn those? Just goof around?
I guess it was easier to burn than have them turn in. Come back to Vietnam, when you go back to base, and it's like, oh, the bad thing is that you have to drive by all the protesters. I hated that with a passion. That was worse than being in Vietnam. Is that all the protesters you drive through? Ah, man, they throw stuff at you. It's like, gee, Christmas, it's been toward Vietnam, and I got these guys on the gates. And just being bad-mouthing you big time every time you went in and out.
Wow.
Because probably were college students. That's where most of the issue was coming out of the college students.
Oh, yeah.
All the protests, yeah. I know you're a college student. That's where they're coming from.
Yes, school would totally do that.
Yeah. I actually-
Revolutionary Society.
I actually hated that part. That was actually worse than Vietnam.
Yeah.
Because you felt like you were scourged with the earth. Different than Iraq right now. Iraq can come back and actually celebrate you. In Vietnam, they would spit on you.